citizen journalism, everybody willing to share the news is producing content and the public is consuming the content. Therefore, citizen journalism promotes audience participation. Another central tenet of the citizen journalism is the process of deinstitutionalization and self definition of the every organization, including journalism, acts as an institution. It has certain positions, roles, norms, and values, and certain social structures. But citizen journalism is defined by unconventional rules, undefined laws, and not a demarcated setup. Citizen journalism is not defined to conventional roles or definitions. The meaning of citizen journalism has been changing over the years. It started with sending photographs to newspapers, moved on to contribution of video bytes in television network and shifted to blogging and microblogging. Unlike the West, scholars argue that the emergence of citizen journalism is because of the lack of effective mechanism for redressing the grievance of the ordinary citizens. In India, the population of the country is more than 1.2 billion, where the majority of the people in the country lives in the villages. The rural journalism in the country is mostly absent, and issues like migration, laborers are mostly absent from the mainstream media. Therefore, citizen journalism has emerged as a tool for filling the void. Let's look at the issues with the journalism. There are multiple issues with the citizen journalism. Some of the issues include objectivity and lack of training. The biggest challenge to the citizen journalism is objectivity. The video or photos cannot show the exact story in every case. The citizen journalism is there for a purpose. His or her objective is not to report for the sake of reporting. There might be intentional or unintentional motive behind the reportage. Lack of training. Citizen journalists are not always trained or educated. If at all, the citizen journalists are trained, they might not have the knowledge or perspective to go about the reporting. In many cases, the reportage might reflect the larger opinion. The arguments might be lopsided, or in other cases, it might reflect incomplete picture. Ethics of citizen journalism. The rule for professional journalists require them to be accurate, verify the facts, and other basic principles like being honest and fair, accountable, and to minimize the harm. Some of these features, if not all, apply to citizen journalism too. The citizen journalists, irrespective of their roles, issues, and country, are required to be truthful, accountable, and know the implications of reporting. The ethical code developed by the University of Southern California mandates honesty and disclosure of sources, conflicts, and motivation to publish for online journalists. And now, taking the specific case of citizen journalists, they are required to follow some basic ethics. Huffington Post lay down an ethical code for conduct of those who are reporting, who are not trained journalists, who are called citizen journalists. So some of the basic ethics are: stick to the fact. One of the most basic through essential feature in which the journalism is based upon is the facts. A citizen journalist is required to get the facts right, whether it is about the local issue or trivial matter in the locality. Being truthful is the key to the news. Next is avoid hearsay. Hearsay or rumor is very, very important thing where journalism should be more responsible. Often journalists or citizen journalists are given leads and stories which might not be true. Often the citizen journalist might not have the complete story, but he or she shouldn't trust on the hearsay to include in the story. The other issue is omit irrelevant opinion. The job of a journalist is to report, not give opinions. Professional journalists are required to report facts as received. Personal opinion, views, or comments are restricted strictly. Therefore, a citizen journalist should report the basic facts and frame the news according to the 5 W's and 1 H, namely who, what, when, where, why, and how. The other important thing is the plagiarism. Plagiarism means copying information from any source without giving due attribution or credit. In journalism, journalists are strictly warned against copying facts or information from any source. Plagiarism invites a strict penalty which could also lead to losing the job. The other one is never edit or alter photos. Citizen journalists are not allowed to edit photos or videos. The editing is prohibited in order to prevent journalists from altering the content. Therefore, in order to prevent the details from the photos which are missing or cropping or adding by different effects which are completely discouraged. The another one is identify yourself when reporting. Identifying oneself before reporting is important because it adds credibility to the video. The amount of video or photo being circulated across the social media claiming to be news is full or fake news and deceptive videos. Therefore, in order to make the information credible and true, a reporter should identify himself or herself. The other one is identify and fact check sources. It is essential for both journalists and citizen journalists that before one gets to a lead of a story, it must be important to check the facts first. Triangulation is a method where a news or information is verified through multiple stakeholders before approving it. Similarly, journalists should triangulate facts before passing it forward. There are several other ethical conducts for citizen journalists like accuracy, thoroughness, fairness, transparency, and independence. I am sure the more and more mobile technologies have come and more internet has availability, make more and more citizen journalists. I am sure there will be more responsible citizen journalists. I am sure you have enjoyed this lecture and see you again in the next lecture. Thank you.